Amnesia by CaramelSwirls. Chapter 3. Plan for Success with 1,137 words. I began running back to Pinky's house as quickly as possible. I knew it had to be Rainbow Dash. Who else could have shot down a bird from the air? A competent archer? Only she can fly. It had to be her. But I needed to get to Pinky's house to know I was somewhere safe. I ran for what felt like ever until I reached her house. I walked in the door and looked around to see no one in sight. That's strange, I thought to myself. Where could she have gone? You don't think Rainbow Dash would have talked to her or done anything to set me up? Pinky wouldn't fall for it. Never! But I have to stop her quick. I can't live in my life in fear like this. There are so many nice ponies here, like Twilight, Rarity, and Pinky. I'm sure Applejack and Fluttershy are so nice as well. I want a chance to get to know them better, too. But I can't with her around. I began formulating a plot against her. I had no clue where she lived or anything about her. Where could I ever find her? Well, with Pinky out of sight, and considering I just left Rarity's house, I decided the only other pony I was close enough to was Twilight. I began heading towards her house, trying my hardest not to get lost in the process. I reached her house and stopped short of knocking on the door. What would I say? I contemplated that question for a few minutes before I had an epiphany. I knocked on the door, and Twilight opened it up moments later. "Oh, hi, Swirls. What brings you here?" "Would you like to come inside?" Twilight kindly offered. "Yeah, thank you. I just stopped by because I wanted to talk to you," I replied. "Talk? About what?" "Is everything okay?" Twilight asked. "Yeah, of course it is. I love it here. All the ponies are so nice. I haven't really gotten to get to know Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, or Applejack too well. But I wanted to see if you knew if Rainbow Dash was okay. I mean, she was acting pretty strange today. I tried sounding as concerned as possible." "Oh, Rainbow? I'm sure she's okay. She just gets like that sometimes," Twilight said. I didn't exactly believe it, but I had nothing else to go on. "Well, I was thinking of paying Rainbow Dash a visit to get to know her better and see how she was doing," I lied. "Could you tell me where she lives? I mean, her house was the only one you and Pinky didn't show me during your tour." "Oh, that's because she lives in Cloudsdale. It's only accessible to Pegasi. I mean, I'm sure there's spells that allow non-Pegasus to enter, but I don't know any," Twilight said. "Are you fucking serious right now?" "Oh, that's such a shame. I really wanted to befriend her. I don't know where to find her," I said with a sigh. "Well, if you'd like, I can ask Pinky to plan a party so that all of us could get together and you can get to know her better there," Twilight suggested. "That'd be great. Could you please?" I didn't really want her to, but I had no other option, and needed to sound as believable as possible. My stomach suddenly growled very loudly. "Oh, is that you, Swirls? Would you like me to make you something to eat?" Twilight once again had another kind offer. I seized the opportunity to get her out of the room. "If it wouldn't be trouble, could you please?" "Oh, don't worry, it's no trouble at all. I'll be right back," Twilight said as she walked out of the room. I took this opportunity to begin going through as many books as possible. I needed to find that spell. It was my key to safety. I rapidly began flipping through any book I thought could have it. After what felt like forever, I somehow managed to find it. I ripped the page out and quickly hid it in my pocket. Moments later, Twilight returned with some food. I scarfed it down and said goodbye to the generous pony. I headed back to Pinky's house, who, surprisingly enough, still wasn't home. I looked around for something, anything I could use to kill that pony. Jesus. I finally found some rope and a knife I thought it could come in handy, and swiftly left before anyone came home. By the time I was finished getting ready, it was nighttime. Time to attack. I took the spell out of my pocket and tried my hardest to get it to work. After a few failed attempts, who knew magic was so difficult, I shockingly managed to appear in Cloudsdale. I searched around for Rainbow Dash's house. It surprisingly wasn't difficult, considering her cutie mark was on the door. I walked up to the door to find it unlocked. I crept inside the house slowly and quietly. It was pitch dark inside, and I decided to turn on the lights against my better judgment. I gasped. There was Rainbow Dash, pinned to the wall by a knife. Her blood was splattered everywhere. I forced back a terrified scream as I began tearing up in fear. Seeing her blood everywhere made me feel dizzy as I flashed back once more. All I see is blood everywhere. There were ponies and animals cut open before me, and their blood was all over my hands. Why was there blood all over me? Except I wasn't scared or anything. It was normal. A pony in a white coat patted me on the shoulders as if giving me a silent approval of a job well done. I guessed I fainted because I found myself on the floor in a pool of her blood. I tried to stand up and noticed a white sheet of paper stuck to the knife. No! I picked it up. You're not the only one who knows how to steal spells. I warned you to stop, but you didn't listen. Don't make me kill more of your friends to get the point across. You would hate to be responsible for all these innocent ponies' deaths, wouldn't you? Oh, wait. And the note trailed off, as if it were supposed to be a witty comment. So it wasn't Rainbow Dash. But then why is she acting so strange? This didn't make any sense. I needed answers. I needed to stop this malicious pony. The story isn't very good. Chapter 4. Morning. With 1,234 words. I decided it'd be best to return to Pinky's house for the night and try to figure things out tomorrow morning. No one would be up this late anyway. Plus, if I act like I know she's dead, I'd become the prime suspect. I headed back to Pinky's house and swiftly heading into bed and drifted off into a nice, soundless sleep. Oh my gosh, Swirls, wake up! Pinkie Pie screamed while shaking me awake. Huh? I sat up and rubbed my eyes. You don't have time for that! Come on, Swirls, everyone needs to get together right now! Pinkie yelled while pulling my arm and trying to run away with me. Calm down, Pinkie, what's wrong? I asked. I moved my arm from out between her hoofs. Rainbow Dash is dead! Pinkie screamed, with an air of disbelief, while tears formed in her eyes. I could tell she was exerting all her strength to try to hold them back. Oh my gosh, what happened? I questioned, feigning shock and disbelief. I don't know. Just come on, she urged. I rose from bed and followed Pinkie to a crowd of all her friends. Everyone seemed to be on the brink of tears, and you could see them all struggling immensely to hold them back. I felt bad I couldn't cry, but after last night, hearing it from Pinkie was nothing. Everyone in the crowd was asking who could have done this, and why Rainbow Dash. I could feel eyes staring me down the entire time yet. I couldn't pick out who it was from. I must be her attacker. My attacker and Rainbow Dash's murderer. She had to be among the 4 ponies still under suspicion. Applejack, Fluttershy, Rarity, and Twilight. Pinkie? Fluttershy said softly. This was supposed to be for you. She took a box out from behind her back and gave it to Pinkie. What is this? Pinkie asked. It was a present from all of us for your birthday today. Rainbow Dash was working on the final touches before. She gave a heavy sniffle. We had her keep it because we knew you couldn't go to Cloudsdale. Happy birthday from all of us, Pinkie. Everyone else said happy birthday as well. So that's why Rainbow Dash was acting odd the other day when she met Swirls. It was because I was there. Well, thank you, Fluttershy. And thank you, everyone else. This really means a lot to me. Pinkie Pie sniffled a few more times and eventually completely fell apart and broke down into tears. Everyone else followed suit, as I awkwardly stood there unsure of what to do. After everyone calmed down, I pulled Twilight to the side. I just needed to ask. Did anyone else come to your house yesterday? I asked. No, Twilight sniffled. Why do you ask? Damn it! I grabbed my mane in frustration and sighed. Oh, don't worry about it, it's nothing. I just figured because we were talking about Rainbow Dash yesterday, maybe someone heard or stopped by afterwards and said something. I just want to find out who did this to her, you know? Yeah, I understand. I think we all do, Twilight said. Well, I think I need some time to think about everything that's happened. I'm gonna head back to Pinkie's now, I said, trying to sound as distraught as possible. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head home too. I need some time to process everything that's happened so far. Feel better, Twilight said. I began walking back to Pinky's house. Yet, there is something amiss. I stopped short and heard a noise. It sounded like a hoof step. Was someone following me? Could it be her? I quickly turned around. At first glance, there was no one there, but I took a second look and saw something peeking out from behind the tree. Who's there? Show yourself! I demanded, yet no one came out. I see you! Are you the one who's been doing this? Are you the one haunting me? I began yelling in a frantic rage. I ran to the tree to find nothing there, just a tiny squirrel eating an acorn. Huh. Wow, my silly. I'm getting myself worked up over nothing. Suddenly, something tapped me on the shoulder from behind. Ha! I screamed. I started panting and breathing heavily. I'm sorry, Sugar Cube. I didn't mean to startle you. I need to talk to you, Applejack said. Oh, Applejack, it's just you. That's a relief. I said it was a relief, but she startled me nonetheless. Well, Pumpkin, I know what you did, Applejack said. What I did? What do you mean? My face started sweating. What did she mean? Was she talking about stealing Twilight's spell, plotting to kill Rainbow Dash, or something far before that only my attack would know? I know you killed Rainbow Dash. I know it was you. You just randomly show up one day, and the next day this is what you do? What the hell, Swirls? We trusted you here, and you did this. Applejack began haphazardly shaking me about, making me irrefutably dizzy. What are you talking about, cowgirl? I didn't do anything of the sort. I didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't. Don't you dare lie to me, you scum. Pinky should have never taken you in. No one else would have ever even think of killing Rainbow Dash. You horrible, horrible pony. Applejack began screaming frantically in my face. Her eyes were a deep, soulless red, as if she had been possessed by a demon. She threw me to the ground and began stomping on my ribs. Die! Die, you miserable excuse of life! Die already! Tears flew down her cheeks rapidly. I had no idea what to do. She was out of control. I began trying to cover my ribs and looked around for anything to protect myself. I found a piece of glass on the ground and slashed open Applejack's side. She fell onto the ground, writhing in pain and clutching onto her side. I stomped on her head twice to make sure she wouldn't chase me after I sprinted away. Was she the one? She did attack me. But she also suspected me of killing Rainbow Dash, so it couldn't have been her. Damn it, where are you? I kept running until I bumped into a tree and fell on my rear. On the tree was another piece of paper. I picked it up. Now, wasn't that fun? You just don't listen, do you? Oh well, I injected her the same way you did to me. Do you remember? I won't quit, but you should. Save the ponies around you that you call friends. Injected her? What did that mean? I flashed back again. I remember injecting a pony once. She screamed a high-pitched, shrill scream and broke down crying. Her face was a blur, though, but her words were unforgettable. How could you do this to me? I will ensure that you rue this day for the rest of eternity. This was cold even for you, sis.